Okay, I think we're ready. So my name's Missy Sipe. I'm an independent promoter with Pruvit. And today's topic is we're going to talk about events and the importance of events and how to invite to events. And today is actually day 25 of 90. So we're a quarter of a way there, just a little bit over a quarter of a way. So super excited. I'm like crazy. Like I love events. So like this is my thing. Like it fires me up. It's what changed my life. I can't even say that without even getting emotional. So it literally changed my life. Um, I'm gonna tell my story real quick, like a short version of why the event changed, how it changed my event. I went to Epic, was my first event in 2018 in January. Went there with Aiden by myself. Normally, like Mike and I have been together forever, so we always do everything together. I went to Epic in Boca Raton, and I went there with Aiden, and 5 minutes in, I was on the phone with Mike and said, like, these are my people. I need to do this forever. Didn't know Nick and Kelly at the time, barely. So it was literally Aiden and I going. 5 minutes in, met Tony Cohen. He loved on Aiden, like immediately. I was like, we have to do this. Called Mike, came home from the event after being around that energy and the positivity and just the love that you feel when you're at the event that you can't feel through a Zoom, even though we try our best to give you all our energy. Being in that proximity is just a huge thing. So it came home from Epic, and in 4 months, that's when I went rank 6. So it changed my mindset. And that's what I'm going to talk about. So I'm jumping ahead. So we're going to that's my story. And now I'm going to get into the coaching and the teaching. So the importance of, and I already mentioned this because I ramble, but the importance of proximity and being around other like-minded people is so important. It's hard, like being out here in the real world and working our business every day, pretty much by ourselves. Like we're lucky because we do have a close community. But when you're in that environment, you get to go through and build your they call it the 4 pillars of beliefs. One of them being belief in the company, because you're around you're around Brian Underwood, you're around all the top leaders. So that's like, it's super important to build these pillars. The belief in the industry. So when you're around the network marketing, community-based marketing, MLM, so you need to have that belief in that community, that we are pursuing better, that it is possible to be better, pursue better, and achieve whatever your goal is with the work and all that. It doesn't just happen, but just to have that belief in the industry and that it is the best place to be compared to the brick and mortar or whatever. The third thing is belief in products, and I don't think there's any of us on here that actually would need to go to an event for this, because the product is like no other. Like we all have a story. Most of us, I think, started with the product and became promoters and had life-changing things happen to our bodies, or physically or mentally, or our loved ones. So that I think we go to the events already with that belief. But if you waver at all, if you're at a plateau, if you're, I don't know, like you almost get used to feeling good and you need to build that belief, go listen to Dr. Kenneth Ford, Dr. Champ, Dr. Barry Newport, Dr. Kenneth Ford. Like, go listen to them, and immediately you'll remember your belief in the product. And then the fourth one is belief in self. And I think this is it is the most important one. And the one that at the event, this is what's going to change your life, the belief in self. And it's always a work in progress. So that's why it's important to continue to go to events, and why you'll continue to see Brian James there. You'll continue to see Michael Rutherford and Katie Rollins and all of them there. Kenneth Ford, he comes back every single, like, he's not a promoter. he comes back every single event, even on his birthday weekend, because belief in self, like the personal development that we get there. I mean, epic or hacking better. David Goggins is going to be there. Like that is so ridiculous, amazing. Like anybody out there that has heard his story, like get them to the event, because there's nothing more powerful than hearing David Goggins. I heard him, I guess it was last year, and mind blowing. But the belief in self is so important, because if we don't believe in ourselves, all the other three, it doesn't matter. Like until we believe that we can be where Michael Rutherford or Katie Rollins or Kendra McMurphy are, like we can't. Until we believe that, until our subconscious mind believes that we can be there. The other three really, like it's awesome to have those beliefs, but that's probably the hardest and the most important that we have to have. I know I'm talking super fast because that's what I do, but upcoming events. So something that Brian said, and I don't know if it was at the last event, if it was at the last call, but where most network marketing companies or community-based marketing companies are going the opposite direction, they're having less and less events because we have Zoom and we have the phone calls and we have all this technology. So many of the companies are only having, I guess, an annual event. Where Brian Underwood's different is he's going complete opposite. Like that's to be expected. Like he would never do what everybody else does because that's not who we are. But so he is like tripling down on the events, and that's why we're seeing so many, and it's super exciting because proximity is power. Showing up is 90% of life. Like all of that, like it sounds cliche, but it is so real, and I'm learning that over the past 2 years. So the events that are coming up, we have our local event with Jessica Smart. I met her and her husband. Awesome story. Jessica lost 100 pounds, but just like Mike and his 100-pound fat loss story, like it's so much more than the 100 pounds. When you hear her talk, her story and her husband's story is amazing. The 100 pounds is what pulls people in because so many people want fat loss. But once you get there and hear the rest of the story, like it's amazing. So that event's this Saturday in Middletown, and you can get your Eventbrite tickets. And as promoters, we get 5 tickets that we can share with potential customers that are just starting, whomever you want to, family. If you need to build belief in somebody, if you need to build that product belief in somebody, like this is the perfect time to get them to a local event. And then the following one, and they're always saying, feed into event, go from one event to the other, like run to those. So ours are super close together, which is really cool. So September 14th, we have the Playbook event. I went to Toronto, I don't know, Nick, I think it was like 10 hours. We drove, Tina, Nick, and I went, and it was worth the 10 hours. Like the first night we were there when we were having a huddle with Michael Rutherford, like that made it worth it before the event even started. So Playbook event, September 14th, Las Vegas, Louisville, Philly, and Dallas. And I actually saw that Brian Underwood's doing the Louisville one, which is really cool. But of course, Philly, an hour and a half drive, 2-hour drive. And I think Kendra and Mitch Newman's going to be there. So that's going to be awesome. If you don't know the Mitchisms, they're hilarious. He will entertain us and teach us and get in our brain, and we'll come home different people just from that one day with him. He's amazing. Aiden still works on his Mitchisms at random times, which is I find really funny because he's only heard him talk like once, and Aiden's 13. So it really sticks with what he says, and great event to build on that belief in self. And then the most exciting event, Hacking Better in Louisville at the Palace. The Palace is absolutely beautiful. And the very, very cool thing is like Brian Underwood grew up in Kentucky, and it was always his dream to have events at the Palace. And now this is going to be his second one. and I get goosebumps. I'm sure everybody that's been there before, like, it is literally, I keep saying it, like, it's life-changing, but it, and it is. Like, I'm not just saying that. It's not just to feed people to events. Like, if you if you're breathing, like, you need to go to the event. Like, it'll change your life. It'll change the trajectory of your business. It'll change your family's life because it's that ripple effect, bringing that home. So, and that is Hacking Better in Louisville. Oh my goodness, I didn't write that date down, and of course I know it. October 13th and 14th, 15th, I believe. And so this one's a little different. Normally we say try to stay at the hotel that the event's at. This one's not at a hotel. So if you need help, if that is in your back office, you can get that ticket. And just remember to sign it and register it. But you can also reach out to any of us, and we'll help you. 26th and 27th, thank you. I know that. But that's October 26th and 27th is Hacking Better in Louisville. But reach out to anybody. Like, if it's a hotel, you're not sure, like, just reach out. Like, we collaborate. I think in Orlando, I had 9 people in my room, and it was okay. Like, I was just super excited for everybody to be there. So, like, get resourceful. BU always says get resourceful. We're here to help with that. Reach out to any of us, and we'll help you figure out anything that, like, will help you. Like, we're just, to get there is so important. So I think that is everything. I call to action, because I forgot that last week. I would say, and this might be a big call to action, but I've been listening to a lot of personal development and listening to BU, and he's all about going big, pursuing better, and, like, going above that 1% better. So reach out if you have a team and you have a downline. I don't really like that, but if you have people in your team, like, reach out to every single one of them personally, and either voice message or messenger instead of, like, the group messages that a lot of us have. Reach out to each one individually. And what I found is not to prejudge. Like, if you think someone can't afford it, or they might be busy, or they have 8 kids and they would never be able to find a babysitter, like, don't judge. Like, give them that opportunity to get resourceful and say that they can. Because I know for me, like, I've been shocked, like, how many times I thought, like, there was no way, and that person got resourceful and was able to make it to the event, and it changed their life. So I think that's everything, guys. If you have any questions, yell. We're all here for you, and have a great Wednesday. Thank you. I'm going to stop the recording.